Hey guys, what is going on? It is A.R.A. Productions, and welcome to System Test 6. So I have a bit of an interesting system for you guys today. So I have set up my system to do something very cool. So let's explain it. So here we have the Edwards 278B 1120. If I'm not mistaken, it's still the same setup from the New Year's video. There's the 4251, there's that, those two devices, both Genesis, and yeah, so I actually did something cool. So I wired this to be a two-stage system. So let me explain how this works. So every pull station on the system, if I were to pull the alarm, it would alarm the panel, but it would not activate the devices. It would either, I think it waits a certain amount of time to go off, or it waits for a second device to be activated. So, but I actually did something pretty cool. So let me see. Where did I put my key? I'll just use the Edwards key for right now. Open this up. There's a key switch in there. So I took one of the key switches from one of my Edwards 270s and I put it inside the 278. So it's a pretty cool feature and it works. So with that being said, what will happen is if I pull one of the pull stations on this system, it will activate this panel, tripping the integrity. Now this system will stay in alarm unless I were to obviously silence it. And then if another device were to be activated, say one of the pulls over there, or I went inside the pull station and activated the key switch, it would sound off the rest of the devices. Now the detectors are wired a little bit differently as well. So the one in here I unfortunately can't do this feature with because it has pull stations on the same zone. But these two system sensor detectors, I have it wired to do verification. So what they'll essentially do is if they get activated, they'll shut off and they'll wait to be activated a second time before the panel trips. So I will demonstrate how to do both things in this video. So I don't know where I put my keys. I had them 2 seconds ago. Not my pockets. I don't think I put them inside the panel. Okay, well, I don't know where my... Oh, there. Alright, so I guess we will start with activating the Edwards 278. Shut that off for now. Now I haven't tested to see if the rest of these will go off without waiting a certain time period because I wouldn't know how long the delay would be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the pull station and I'm going to take my little test station key, insert it into the key hole and turn. By the way, that and the horn are on California code. Even though they do code 3, they eventually stop for a couple of seconds. That's to not make everything super loud, but the chime still goes off because that's not as loud. So I'm going to reset this, and then I'm going to reset this panel. I'm going to leave the integrity disabled for this portion because I really don't need it for this video. It's kind of just there for demonstration purposes. I wanted to put up a chime there, but I only have, if I'm not mistaken, 2 chimes, which one of is being that, and the other is the Commander 3. So Anyway, so let's say, for example, I'm going to show you how the smoke detectors work. So we're going to use the 2400TH for today's example. And by the way, as you can probably see, I switched those detectors around. So I'm going to take some smoke saver and I'm going to spray it into this detector. Okay. Okay, so that detector just activated, but it cut itself off because it's going to verify to see if there is still smoke. Okay, now it activated again, and now there's about a 10-second delay until the panel trips. I think that's like another initialization feature, or the panel takes a certain amount of time to actually recognize the verification. It's weird. I'll explain after this. Okay, so basically, I think what happens is the reason why it takes so long to activate a second time is because the panel is what's doing the verification, not the smoke detector. The panel is allowing the detector to do the verification. The detector can't do it by itself because it's not that complex. So I think what the panel is doing is, if the device were to activate again, there's still a certain amount of time. There's like a timer on the panel. There's like a certain amount of time that there can be between two activations. So I think it's like maybe 10, 15 seconds, because you know that it went to alarm the second time after only 5 seconds. So, and I can do the same thing with the i3, but it might take a little longer because the i3 actually has to initialize itself. So we'll do that. So instead of actually I'm going to do smoke saver because I don't want to have to automatically do this, and then I'll demonstrate how to activate this stuff without the key station and blah, 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 blah. Okay. Okay, there that goes. Now, this might take a little while longer to activate, only because this detector itself has an initialization phase. So, unlike that detector, which can go into alarm quick, so this might actually align with the panel's verification. There we go. Might be a little less time. There we go. So, proves my theory. There we go. And now we will reset. I'll have to reset that later. So, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate one of these pull stations over here. Now, let's say, for example, you know, I'm trying to activate the fire alarm system and I don't have access to a key to open the pull station and activate it. So all I would simply do is activate this, silence that, and if I see, okay, the alarms are going off, I'm going to go to another pull station and pull that. And it is very simple. It's not hard to do. You just have to program the panel the right way. It's not exactly an official two-stage like setup, but it mimics one very well, depending on how you're looking at it. So, and if I wanted to do it vice versa, like say for example, I wanted to go to the simplex T-bar, and I'll activate that. Now I can go over to this and either flip the switch, or I can activate the key station, but I'll flip the switch. And also, this simplex key station, I actually have this key station and that key station wired up to the same zone. Now, if I were to just simply go up to the key station and activate it, it would just activate the alarm automatically. But if I were to go over to this pull station, actually, you know, let me do the other 20, let me do the 2099. Sorry about this. One of my friends is sleeping over and I have the air mattress up. I'll activate that. And now I can simply go to this key station and do the same. Okay, I hope I reset that pull station. I think I key activated it. Yeah, whatever. So I know with a lot of actual two-stage systems, at least some older ones that I've seen, you'll have two types of alarms for two-stage. You'll have, say for example, maybe one horn and a chime. So let's say for example that was only a chime, and there was no strobe on it. That would be there, and then the Genesis would be next to it. So first stage would activate that, and then once the second stage was initiated, that would stop, and then the actual horns would go off. But others will still have both activated. So it just depends on how the building operates. If it's a hospital, a fire station, a lot of systems in Canada operate like that. So it can be complex, but at the same time, you can mimic a two-stage system pretty easily with this panel. If you want me to go into detail on how I do it, I can save that for another video. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I made it a little longer for you guys. And thank you for watching.